Hi, I'm Zack Deris. The following presentation is a step-by-step process in terms of how you can use client engagement on the LinkedIn platform to be able to build the right relationships that are going to lead to book meetings that will eventually lead to generating sales. What you're going to learn in the next half an hour is absolutely everything that I utilize on a daily basis to be able to qualify meetings, book them, and close them to scale my personal business. If you've taken value from what you see in the next 25 to 30 minutes, stick around to the very end because there's a very cool special offer that you can take advantage of in December to help you scale on LinkedIn. A lot of the people in this room today, you're entrepreneurs, you're freelancers, you have your own business, you may have your own agency, it could be a recruitment firm, could be your own community that you're attempting to build and grow. It doesn't matter what you do. These steps and these processes that you're going to learn today apply to absolutely everyone. The only thing that you're going to need to change is the approach a little bit when it comes to the messaging and how you're actually communicating and connecting with people. What we're here to talk about today, I want people's calendars to start to look like this. Okay, so this was when I was really going hard at prospecting, and this was January 2022. So I color coded everything for myself because I have ADHD, and it's the best way for me to stay organized. So the blue ones, the light blue ones, are deals that I couldn't close. The gold ones were my smallest package option, which at the time was like $300-400. The darker blue ones was $500 to $600. The red ones were about $800, and the purple ones were about over $1,000, right? And these were just quick in and out consulting sessions and training sessions that I did with people. There was a lot more blues every single day. I was doing, 10 to 15 meetings daily because I knew that I needed a pipeline. Because my old mindset, which is going to be your new mindset to start with, before you're able to rely on your content bringing you inbound leads, which we'll get to later on, you need to be prospecting. You need to be reaching out to people, building relationships, offering for them to get on a Zoom call with you. Because initially, when you start this process, you'll have a very small conversion rate. You may have, look, I've been doing telesales and sales my whole entire life. Prior to January 2022, I probably sold to over 5,000 people. So for me, I already knew what stuff I needed to say on the call. But for those individuals who are new to sales, they're new entrepreneurs, you may have 100 blue meetings in a week and only get one deal closed. But as you got the message in the email, if you implement this stuff correctly and you put the time and effort in, within 48 hours, you can have your leads. There's no question about it. As the week goes on, we move into January. There's a lot less blues. There's more deals being closed. January was my biggest financial year ever because of all this prospecting. And the amount of prospecting calls that I was actually doing reduced, and the actual client calls increased massively because of a process which is client engagement, which a lot of you hear me repeat this and talk about this on a regular basis, which I'm going to dive into, but it's essentially just engaging in people's content. And as you can see, we're moving on to February now, more colorful meetings, more account takeovers, more masterclasses that I'm hosting in the evenings. I was working from 9 a.m. in the morning till 11 o'clock at night because money was on the table. It made a lot of sense for me to do it. Thankfully, touch wood, I didn't burn out because October and November, I took the whole entire month off. I had to. I had no choice but to do so. So how do you get to this? There's a tool that everyone can use by the name of Sales Navigator, about 80 euros a month, so about $100 a month. If you use it properly, it will pay for itself in the first hour of the first day every single month. Now, throughout this conversation today, a lot of you are going to be asking me the question, how do I automate this process? How can I use all these incredible AI tools and automation bots to send my connection requests, to have these conversations, to speed up the process of booking meetings? The answer is simple. You shouldn't. You can. There's so many ways that you can actually use automation and AI, but I highly recommend that you don't, because there's one thing that AI cannot do, and that's engaging with people. I can use AI right now to send connection requests out to 175 people. Without engagement, because it's a really heavily targeted sequence of individuals and they are my ICP, which I'm about to show you, I may have 40 people accept my connection request, which is great. But because of the fact that there was no engagement from them 40 people, I may only be able to have meetings with 3 of them, 4 of them. With this engagement process that I'm going to discuss today, I can send 10 connection requests out every week, have 10 meetings, and possibly close 3 or 4 deals. This is the process that I was using to be able to get my calendar, to look like this. Didn't use any automation. I grinded. But now I'm really blessed. I'm in a position where I have an incredible community to 100. I have a huge reach on the LinkedIn platform from my content that I put out. And I get a lot of referrals. Almost every single client that I've taken on this year, they refer their friends and family and colleagues or even their clients to work with me for a short period of time to get them up to speed. But it wasn't always like this. Now, I have to be respectful to the fact that not everyone is entrepreneurial. Some people are employed, they are a marketing manager or a marketing director, and that's totally fine. These steps can still be implemented to grow your employee's business, but most importantly, build your personal brand as well. So I think enough talking. What I'm going to show you now in the next half an hour is how I identify my target audience, how I reach out to them, and how I book the meetings. That's the only 3 things that I'm going to cover. Let me build my ideal customer profile. So I sell to consultants, coaches, to marketing agencies, personal trainers, anyone who's independent. So this paid platform that you see over here, you can go to Google and write free trial for Sales Navigator. If you haven't got premium at the moment, you may be able to use it. And on the featured section of my LinkedIn profile, there is a 45-minute tutorial on how to properly use this. But I'm just going to show you in a nutshell the most important things. How I got 14 to 15 meetings a day every single day in January was one of the options that I relied on heavily independently was individuals that posted on LinkedIn. These are people that are active on the LinkedIn platform, right? We have 1 billion users on LinkedIn. This is showing me because of the first and the second and the third degree connections. It's not going to show me absolutely everyone, but the ones I have access to, that 17 million people have posted in the past 30 days. The stats are anywhere normally from 22 to 50 million, but this is what Sales Navigator is showing me because of the degrees of separation that I have on my profile. So I know any of these individuals here, without putting any of the additional search requirements in, I'll be able to reach out to them and get them on a call. Why? Because they're active. They're posting on the LinkedIn platform. They're responding to messages. They're accepting connection requests, and they are agreeing to jump on a meeting. Because there are some people in the world that come onto LinkedIn for 5 or 10 minutes a week or a day. They browse some content and then they leave. They go to Instagram, they go to TikTok, they pick up the phone and do their phone job. They go out and do event sales or whatever it is that they need to do. But then there's individuals like us who have all come from the LinkedIn platform, right? That's how I sourced every single person in this room. We've connected via LinkedIn. And probably more than likely the way that we connected is either you joined an event or a live event that I hosted, or I connected with you with this process. So I have a key target audience right now, and I'm going to start off with geography. I'm going to specifically look at individuals in Europe, okay? It doesn't mean that I can't sell to other people, but what I've understood out of the 300 people that I've worked with this year alone, 97%, which is a huge percentage, are from Europe. So it makes sense that this is where my core focus is going to be. Again, we're not going to be covering this in the workshop. This is just information you need to have. The next thing that I'm going to want to do is enter in the job titles of the people that I know that will buy from me. So these are going to be CEOs, and also just to make sure that I'm getting both ends of the stick, I'm going to write Chief Executive Officer and CEO. The next thing I'm going to do is founder. I'm not going to go for co-founder, because if there are 2 decision makers, I am not interested at all. And then the next thing I'm going to write is consultant. and then I'm going to go for coach, and then I'm going to go for strategic advisor. Cool. So 6 job titles from 17 million, because I added Europe and I added these specific titles, it got me to 376,000 people. That's too many people. It's too many people. I'm not going to go through them people in my whole entire lifetime. Doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at that company headcount. And I'm really, really interested in the self-employed and the people who state they have 1 to 10 employees. Now, anyone who's created a company page on LinkedIn to make yourself look better, you may have selected 50 to 200 employees or 1 to 10 employees, even though it's just you on your own, right? But realistically, this is my target audience. So now it's been cut in half. We've gone down to 190,000 people, but still, this is not good enough for me, okay? So what I want to do is I want to have a look at the industries that they're in. One disclaimer, Sales Navigator has a nasty habit of moving stuff around a lot. So just a minute for me to find that. So anyone who's in the business consulting and services space, they're ideal for me, definitely. Anyone who's in the marketing industry, they're ideal for me. Anyone who's in coaching, ideal. So now that's been reduced down from 170,000 down to 44,000. You know what I'm going to say? Still not good enough. So I'm going to remove the people that are previously messaged, previously viewed. From 49,000, going to get me down to 44,000. I ideally want to get this to a sweet spot of around 20,000 people. Then from a function perspective, I'm going to have a look at the salespeople. I'm going to have a look at the business development individuals, business development, and I'm going to have a look at the marketing. So you're probably thinking, but Zach, you put this in the keywords, you put this in the job titles, you put this in the industry. Why do you need to put it in the function? Because I need to be super, super, super specific. Now, one thing that's really going to help me sell a lot better is touchwood. Over the past 3 years, I've built up a very credible name for myself in the Web3, NFT, crypto, and immersive space. So because of that, I know for a fact, if I was to write a keyword like Web3, these 100 people, 283 people that are going to show up, they're probably going to know who I am. They've probably seen my content before, because I'm really lucky about the fact that Web3 is a very, very small industry. There's only a couple million people inside the whole entire Web3 space out of billions of people on the internet. So the chances, because I reach a few million people through my content cross-platform every single year, the chances that they've seen my Web3 sales and marketing related content is pretty high, and I can rely on something like that. So now this is my sweet spot. These 283 people. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this search. And then just for myself, I'm just going to rename this, and I'm going to call it active Web3 coaches, consultants, advisors, sweet spot. It's just so I know it's a sweet spot. No, it doesn't stop here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to manually, which I'm not going to do at this very second, but it's part of the process. I'm going to manually look at all of these 283 leads, and I'm going to pick around 50 of them that I'm going to prospect. So like, for example, chief of staff at a company probably isn't for me. However, when I go to her profile, what I may be able to identify is that apart from being a chief of staff, she may have another position where she is a founder and director, and perfect for me in the recruitment space. I have a lot of recruitment clients, and this is an ICP, an ideal customer profile for me. So I'm going to manually go through all of these leads, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the ones that I want to prospect and build relationships with, and then I'm going to save them to a list. Once I've created a new list, it'll be the same title as the saved search, active Web3 coaches, consultants, sweet spot. I can create and save. Now, at this stage, I'm going to go to leads, because I've taken the time to go through the 283 leads. I can go here and I can run some automation, and I can just send out connection requests. If I had 100 people in this list and I send the automation, a small percentage, 10 to 15% are actually going to engage with me. And that's not suitable. I want to have a very, very, very high conversion rate. And if I am building up the suspense, good, because it's exciting what you're about to see. Let me just, because we are on Rebecca's profile, let me use her as an example. Posting every single day. Let me have a look at her activity. Now, on Sales, the Navigator, you can see the activity and you can engage in the activity, but it's really, really, really buggy. So what I do is I don't really build a relationship or do any engagement out of Sales Navigator. I just use it to identify the people, and then I'm gonna send them a message via LinkedIn eventually. I know I can help this person. She's taken the time to make a banner. She has a decent profile picture, a decent amount of connections. She knows that she needs to put a link inside her bio. We can tweak this a little bit to make it a little bit more suitable and to be more optimized for SEO. But I can see her best content, right, which she's implementing, is in the feature section of her profile. But the most recent post that she's putting out, which is with the video content as well, it's not getting a lot of engagement. Now, that could be for a couple of reasons. When someone reposts content, and this may be from her agency, yeah, it is. So she has a company called Agency. So she's reposting her company content. If she does an instant repost, which is the second option over here, and you engage in that content, she isn't going to see that engagement. But if she reposts with her thoughts, which is what she did over here, she is going to see this content. She is going to get the engagement. So I've got two opportunities right now where I can guarantee a meeting with this individual. And for those who are in the 100 community, once she accepts my connection request based on this process and actually books in a meeting, I'm going to take a screenshot of the booked meeting. It may be today, it may be tomorrow, it may be Friday, but it's going to happen. And I'm going to put this in the announcement channel, just as a social proof that you know that this works. So I need to engage in her content, but I'm not going to write amazing posts, very interesting, fantastic, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to genuinely add value here. I can see that Istiak has been accepting the people coming to the room, so thank you so much for doing that. So she's saying here in her post, as someone with an interest in Web3 and Web2 influencers, so key opinion leaders, it's always fascinating to see how both communicate with their audiences when it comes to partnerships and paid promotions. For me, I'm enjoying seeing the maturing of Web3 influencers and how they are focusing on educating their audiences more. I believe it will be so much more impactful. Cool, we get the point. We understand what she's saying. But now the company page, which surprisingly isn't written by ChatGPT, which I love to see. They are clearly selling influencer services. This is why they are making content about this. Part of one of the clients that I have, I also sell influencer services in the AI space. I did something very different to this. I actually recorded a video of myself talking, and I had 4 leads from 4 of the biggest AI companies in the world, just from putting out a bit of video content, which we'll get to. So I'm going to read all of this, and then rather than me just clicking like and just writing great posts, I'm genuinely going to add a lot of value. So first thing that I want to do is I want to love this post, and then I'm going to write Rebecca and Agency. I love everything that you've put in this post. It is so important that people understand the value of building relationships and partnerships with individuals that we like, with individuals that are amazing community builders. Yes, we call them influencers and celebrities. You see how fast I'm just typing this? I'm not overthinking this, because I've created an ICP, an ideal customer profile of the people that I sell to. So I instantly know the content that they put out is going to be the same kind of content that I put out, because it's relatable to me. So it's easy for me to engage in. There is no point if I'm just going to pick on someone in the room. If Eric, for example, if you decided to sell to automotive clients all of a sudden, but you don't have any experience in automotive, how are you going to engage in their content, right? So stick to a niche, choose one niche and target that person, not from a sales perspective, but also from an engagement perspective. It will make your life easier. So we call them influencers and celebrities, where in reality, those are the individuals that really know a thing or two about building relationships. I love everything that you've shared, and I would love to learn more about how we can collaborate on bringing more awareness to agency. I'm being blunt. I'm actually delivering a sales pitch within the comments of a post. Because what happens is, this is very psychological. If a potential prospect or customer for Rebecca goes to her content, reads the comments, and sees that she didn't respond to someone who clearly wants to work together with her, they're not going to send her a message, because it shows them that she's ignoring them and she doesn't have the time of day for people. So she's going to respond. Like, you literally have my word, she's going to respond. I'm going to post that. And again, I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to do exactly the same thing for all the other posts. I would say 3 or 4 posts, the most recent posts. Once I've done that, I'm not going to do it now because I have some more things that I need to go through, and I'm going to do this after this call, and then I'll give the social proof. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at her company pages that she has, engage in the content on the company pages, click the follow button on the company pages, because every single interaction I'm performing as the founder or chief of staff, the person who has access to the social medias, she's going to see my name over and over and over again. She's going to see my name in the comments, in the notifications, that Zach's liked the post, shared the post, commented on the post, gone to follow the company page. So within a 5 to 10 minute period, I'm going to leave over 20 to 30 interaction points, which shows her, wow, Zach is genuinely interested in speaking to me. This is psychological, people. This is how you stand out from the crowd. And maybe half the people in this room are not going to do this because it's time consuming. But what would you prefer? To schedule some automation, send out 100 or 200 messages and 5,000 emails every single week, and have one person a month buy your services, when you can literally dedicate 2 hours a day to LinkedIn? Doesn't need to be in one go, can be half an hour in the morning, half an hour lunchtime, and an hour in the afternoon or evening. And you can land yourself 5 to 6 meetings weekly as a minimum by utilizing this process. But then once we've done that, once we've identified who she is, what her content is, we've added value to the company page, we've gone to follow the company page. One more thing that could be beneficial for us is we can identify the people that she is commenting on as well. Because once we've done this, it shows even more interest, and it shows that we are adding value to her network. So we're building community with her community. So I will like and comment and reply. And a lot of you may think this is scary, but this is how you build a 7-figure business on the LinkedIn platform, by putting this amount of effort in. I will like and comment her replies. Okay, I don't think I've said this to any of the people in the room before, but this is massively, massively powerful. And as you can see, there's some of my other third connections in here. So there's another way for me to build a relationship by asking for an introduction. I will take a look at who she's commenting on, reply and appreciate and love her comments. I'll continue that for another 2 to 3 minutes. And then finally, it's time for the connection request. Now, the connection request, you always add a note. You never select this blue button. This should be the blue button. I don't know why they do that. It's to make your life easier, I guess. You get a 15x conversion rate just by adding a note. Quick show of hands. Who doesn't add notes currently in their connection requests? You can use the reaction button at the bottom of Zoom, okay? And that's fine. It's totally fine if you don't. You're going to start to do it today, and you're going to see a massive difference, especially for the recruiters in the room, right? This will massively make a difference because you have the most competitive market out of everyone. Previously, every single week or every single hour, there'll be a new recruitment agency. Now there's a new AI tool, which is going to take your job, which it isn't if you implement this process. One of the reasons a lot of my client base are recruiters is because this process works and recruiters talk to each other and they let people know about Zack. So let's move on. The connection message, super, super, super important. And again, I'm not going to send this now because of the fact that I've still got that engagement to do. The connection request eventually will be, Rebecca, your content is phenomenal. Let's connect so I can see more of your posts in my feed. Where's the sales pitch? Where have I asked her to jump on a call with me? Where have I say, hi, my name is Zack and I have a 7-figure agency and we book 10 to 15 meetings a week for our clients and we can guarantee you sales success and we can do X, Y, and Z and I can paint the sky red or whatever. No, I see that so much. If I was to show you my inbox, you guys would be shocked by the amount of emails and sales pitches that I get hourly, not daily or weekly, hourly. I ignore them, just like everyone else here. You will ignore them. The way that the majority of the people came onto this call is either one, I've given you some value previously and you're in the 100 community, or you joined a masterclass that I did last week or the month before, and I sent you a message today personally inviting you to this call, but I didn't send a link to the meeting. I asked you, I'm going to be hosting a masterclass in a couple of hours. Do you want me to send you a link? You're getting permission from that individual. Yes, it's an extra message that you have to do. But the funny thing is, I only really sent it out to like 10 or 15 people. I hand selected those individuals. It took me 10 to 15 minutes in total to have a back and forth conversation. And surprise, surprise, there's over 35 people in the room because it works. This process works. And that's all I'm going to send to her. That's it. Not, I hope you have a nice day, best regards, none of that. Never, ever, ever sign off best regards, kind regards, Zack Deris or whatever in a message on LinkedIn, because that's a closed action point. That gives people the opportunity to ghost and ignore you. Now what happens is I need to take this a step further, okay? So I'm gonna talk you through it now because we need to rapido so I can get through some questions. The next steps is I'm going to utilize a platform called Apollo. I'm going to type in Rebecca's name into Apollo and I'm going to type in her company name in there if I cannot find her on Apollo. And Apollo's going to give me her email address. Okay, it's going to give me her email address. There's no question about it. It's good. After I've sent the connection request, before I send her an email, which we're going to, and you're thinking why, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to go to Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm going to find her profiles for her business or herself. I'm going to socially stalk her and I'm going to engage in content the same way I did on the LinkedIn platform. I'm spending up to 15 minutes on this lead, up to 15 minutes. And I'm spending this much time because I know by the end of the week, I'm going to have a meeting with Rebecca. By the time I'm on the meeting, I'm probably going to tell her about this process, ask her if we can take a screenshot, and I'll put that in the announcement channel as well, right? This is how confident I am because I do this on a regular basis for myself and over 8 accounts that I take over for my clients. It works consistently. Now the email. The subject of the email is going to be Zack from LinkedIn with a wave emoji. You don't have to use the emoji. That's just my personal preference. The body of the email is going to say, hi, Rebecca, I just sent you a connection request on LinkedIn. You probably have a lot of invites, so I thought I'll jump in your email too. Talk to you on the platform. Once Rebecca accepts my connection, I'm going to grab my phone. I'm going to have two options. If I am out and about, and I'm not in a suitable environment to record a video, I'm going to use an audio note. Raise your hand if you don't know how to send an audio note on the LinkedIn platform. I'm going to go to Melanie. There she is. Going to click on her profile. This can only work from your mobile phone, by the way, just so you know. So if you don't have the LinkedIn app, install it. I'm going to click on message. As you can see on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a microphone button. I'm going to say, hi, Melanie, thank you so much for joining the masterclass today. I really hope you enjoyed it. And possibly if you have time later on this week, it'll be great for you and I to have a one-to-one, right? And I'm going to send it to her. And now, okay, because I'm in Zoom, it's not going to allow me to actually play it. But if I play it, it's going to show my voice, right? And you're going to be able to hear what I said. And there we go. Melanie can hear it, right? That's proof. I appreciate you doing that. Now, the other thing, record the video of myself. I'll be like, hi, Melanie, thank you so much for connecting. I hope you're having a wonderful day. As I mentioned in my connection request, that post that you put out about the influencers in the Web3 space really resonated with me because I also specialize in that area. I think it'll be a great idea for us to jump on Zoom. Can you see how I'm being expressive? I'm being my normal salesy self. I'm not like scared in front of the camera. It took me years to get here. Right? I couldn't ever record a video previously. A lot of you will be shocked to learn that I have a severe, and I mean severe, speech impediment. So this stuff takes practice, right? And then I'll go to LinkedIn and I will click the paperclip on the right hand side. I'll send video and then I'll choose the video that 250,000 to 500,000 as an example, right? I'm just going to send you that, Melanie, right? And then it's going to send, and then she's going to be able to see a video that isn't inside a post. Now, a lot of you are going to think, Zach, what if, why is there two of me on the screen? Apologies. What if I can just record a post introducing myself or use Loom, which in the video I just sent to Melanie, which you can see on my profile, I'm talking about why you shouldn't use Loom. I could just record a Loom, I could record a post and just send people over that post. No, because that makes people think if you're going to send them a link to a post inside the chat, that you want engagement on your content. And that's the last thing you want, because that's going to put them off. Now, the reason why the video is taking so long, because I recorded and edited it in 4K. It's 1.5 minutes long. I wouldn't recommend that your audio note be longer than 10 to 15 seconds and the video you send don't be longer than 20 to 30 seconds, because anything longer than that is a sales pitch and nobody wants a sales pitch. So this is going to send in a minute. Once that's done, you need to be able to know how to get these people on the call. And I would say 8 to 9 back and forth messages before you suggest they jump on a call. Now, I've detailed step by step everything you need to do, which I've vaguely touched on right now, and the next steps of how you book the meeting, how you host the first sales call, how you actually close the person, what kind of templates to use for the invoices, for the chase message, and how to upsell your clients as well. And if you want access to that, there's one way you can get this, and it's called the LinkedIn Sales Operating System. So you're in the room today, you're going to get free information. What you do with that information is totally your choice. If I've given you value, I promise you I'm intentionally holding so much back. So at the end of this, you're going to have the option to click on the link that I'm going to put inside the Zoom chat, which is the cost here is in Polish zloty, but it's 99 euros. And this workshop is going to give you absolutely everything you need to fly solo in 2024, to not ever pay a consultant, join any paid masterclasses, or even join any free masterclasses. It's the whole entire blueprint of my business. So I'm going to cover 12 topics. I'm going to give you 16 frameworks, which are going to be all the ones that you see over here. But in addition to that, every single person has the knowledge and education to be able to sell and educate other people, which means every single person in this room can host and sell a masterclass. So I've gone to document the whole entire process of this masterclass, from how I created it, what platforms I used, where I spent money on ads, how I circulated the masterclass, how I got other people to help me sell the masterclass, and that's going in there as a bonus as well. So I've just put the link in there. If anybody wants to click on the link now, inside the actual workshop, you're going to get this document. This document is going to cover all the coursework and a recording of each of the free sessions. It's going to give you the free bonus that I mentioned and all of the frameworks, which are the video tutorials and guides. So in total, you're getting over 50 hours of stuff from me. The value I calculated is over $7,000. I'm giving it for 100 because this year we've hit the 7-figure revenue mark for Zack Deris Training Services, my business. So this is my way of giving back. Enough said. I really appreciate everyone who joined today. Thank you so much. I'm Zack Deris. It's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the workshop. Take care.